Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel and to the Ultimate Racing League and to race 2 of round 3 of our Saturday Championship in the Group 3 or the GR3 cars. And we are at Dragon Trail Seaside in Croatia. It's fictional track, 3.2 miles, 17 turns, one big triangle with a few chicanes thrown in for good measure. Now we've just seen a cracking first race, which saw Fitzy take the win and Stormfly come in second. Valuable points for them. There was no Osman taking part in race 1, and I don't think he's in race 2 either, so he could be missing for the all 3 races then. So some very valuable points to be had for the guys below him in the table. Unforgiven, well, he started off having a brilliant race, didn't he, and then ended up hitting the barrier on the exit of the chicane of death, which cost him some valuable places and valuable points. So hopefully we'll have no more of that. I mean, as spectators, we like to see them crash into walls, don't we? But as drivers, not what we want. Reverse grid for race 2. So let's have a look, shall we, and see who's where. We've got Sid the Sloth on pole position. We've got Brian the Mechanic just behind him. Hawkeye is 3rd. Rufus is 4th on the grid. Stealth is 5th. Phaser 6th. Silly Shot, he is 7th on the grid. Pete is 8th. Grasshopper 9th. Unforgiven 10th. As I say, had that very unlucky race 1. Brian Moncani, he is in 11th. Derg is 12th. Stormfly 13th. Fitzy is 14th, and Smith has joined us, so we've got a guest driver on the grid in Mr. Smith, or Agent Smith as we like to call him now, and he is in 15th. So back up to the top, we'll change the camera and we'll get these boys underway. Rolling start, as always. Fantastic view, look at those mountains. There's the cruise ship in the background, and Unforgiven's yacht is out there somewhere as well. As the klaxon goes, and across the start-finish line they go, all lining up behind Sid the Sloth as we get down towards turn 1. Brian the Mechanic already having a bit of a look. He's on the inside as we get into the first of the chicanes at turns 2, 3 and 4, and Sid already down to 2nd with Brian the Mechanic going through. Hawkeye's in 3rd, Rufus 4th, then Phaser as we head towards turns 5 and 6. Oh, who's that? Ruthless cocking a leg there in that BMW. Let's just have a look at this. So we come out of the chicane using every inch of the track, and if we follow Rufus through now, he'll bump that curb and cock a leg. There we go, 2 wheels in the air. Fantastic racing from Rufus. Oh, and who's that? That's Hawkeye. I believe it is Hawkeye. Oh, we've got to wait for everybody to go by, haven't we, before we can have a look at that again. Now, I don't think there was any contact. I think he was just a little bit too... Oh, maybe there was a bit of a nudge there from Rufus, I believe. Well, definitely a bumper kiss. I'm pretty sure there was a bumper kiss from Rufus. Let's just follow Rufus. This is after he took off. Couldn't slow down. There was a bit of a bumper kiss. He caught Sid the Sloth off onto the grass. Well, we'll let the stewards sort that one out if there's anything to be sorted out. As Rufus goes side by side with Sid the Sloth as they go through turn 7, 8 and 9. Rufus pushes his way through into 2nd. It was definitely elbows out there, wasn't it? Phaser moves up into 3rd. Sid now getting absolutely mugged by everybody. Oh, and he's come unstuck there. So Phaser goes through. This is after Rufus has already gone by. Phaser, you can see Stealth coming up. Stealth then has a bit of a look up the inside. Silly Shot tries to go around the outside. A bit of a coming together with Stealth and Sid, and off he goes, and that's really unfortunate for Sid. Having a good race up to that point. He was doing quite well, and just got absolutely mugged at that turn. And Brian Moncani and Pete, well, we're not quite sure what happened to those two, but they're now catching up with Sid, and they're soon going to return. Oh, and another bit of a bump there It is all happening now in race 2, and we've not even got to the chicane of death yet. As they just go through now, Sid leading the way with Pete just behind him, Brian Moncani doing everything he can to catch up with these guys, and then we've got Hawkeye in 15th after his little episode earlier on, coming out of turn 6. Well, it's all happening at the back, isn't it? As Pete goes through, Brian Moncani goes through on Sid the Sloth at turn 17 onto the start-finish straight. No, Sid's still managed to stay in front of Brian, so maybe the Super has just got a little bit too many beans for the Porsche in a straight line. It is a quick car in a straight line. As Sid, well, it was probably a bit too quick. He just couldn't get it slowed down, could he? And there we go, onto the kitty litter, and down in 15th. That was unlucky. So up to the top then, we've got Brian the Mechanic is actually leading this race, with Rufus really putting the pressure on. As we come down the hill, well, through turn 11 and down the hill, it looks like Rufus has managed to get by as they go side by side. Rufus has just got his bumper in front. Brian the Mechanic just drops in behind him through turn 12. Little bit of a wobble going on that Lamborghini. Oh, as the back end comes round on it and slams him into the barrier. That has definitely took the edge off of him. He's going to be wary of that now. Unforgiven has been allowed to catch right up to the back of him, and he's now going to put the pressure on. Maybe even just make a move on the straight before they get to the entry of turn 17. Yeah, Unforgiven has a bit of a look up the inside and gets the move done. Made it look easy, really. Unforgiven there, so Unforgiven through to P2. Brian the Mechanic has not finished though, is he? He's tucked right underneath the rear wing of Unforgiven. He's now pulled to the side and having a look as he goes up the inside through turn 1. As they head down towards the first of the chicanes, Unforgiven has got the inside line. Brian the Mechanic just having to back out and slot in behind him. Gets a good exit. Gets a fantastic exit from that chicane as they head down towards turn 5. We've got Silly Shot in there as well. Just got to keep it calm, guys. Nothing too silly as Bright gets on the grass. Oh, and it looks like Stormfly on the grass as well. He's trying to make his way through the pack. Great racing from these guys at the minute in race 2 here in Croatia. Brian the Mechanic holding on to P3. Unforgiven just managing to pull away. He's got a car length or so in front of these guys as Brian the Mechanic and Silly Shot go side by side. Now Brian the Mechanic is really getting involved in some of these battles, and I think that Lamborghini, he's just asking too much of it. It's struggling against the BMWs, and now he's got a McLaren of Stormfly in his rear view mirror as they go through the chicane of death for the 3rd time. And it looks like it's only going to be a matter of time before Stormfly, let's jump on board with Stormfly, it's really only a matter of time, I think, before he goes by, as Bryce seems to be struggling in the McLaren. It's just not suited to this track, I don't think. As Stormfly slots in behind Bright, and if we look in the mirror just behind, we see Fitzy in the distance in 6th position. He's made his way up through the pack as well. So Stormfly doing slightly better this race than he did against Fitzy in the first one. So out of the two of them, Stormfly is making better headway. Although Fitzy, he's there and thereabouts, isn't he? You can just see Fitzy coming up to turn 5 now. Let's have a look at the time, shall we? It is just approaching the 6-minute mark, so plenty of time for race 1 winner Fitzy to get himself up there on the podium. He's got Derg behind him in 7th. Derg happy to pick up the slipstream of Fitzy's GTR. The two GTRs battling away there for P6. Down the hill towards turn 12. All about the exit on this one. You've just got to be careful you don't push the car too far to the left and catch that barrier. It will unsettle you just before you get into this chicane. As Fitzy and Derg both go flying through there. Oh, now then, did Fitzy have a scrape with the wall? If he did, it's not upsetting too much. Is Derg having a bit of a look? He has a bit of a cheeky look, didn't he, did Derg? We'll just drop down the field a little bit. Stealth in 8th. Smith has made his way from 15th up to 9th. Also in the GTR. And then we've got Phaser, another GTR in 10th. Brian Moncani in the Porsche in 11th. He's got Grasshopper and Pete just behind him. Hawkeye in 14th with Sid down in 15th. Back up to the top though, Rufus is he's running away at the minute. Well, you want to try and stay off the grass, Rufus. It's going to slow you down. But Rufus currently in P1 and leading this race. Unforgiven in 2nd. So a BMW and well, it's a GTR, isn't it? I think I said Unforgiven was in a BMW earlier. He's in the GTR. I think he's got a BMW that looks like that as well. That's what probably confused me. But nevertheless, he's in P2 at the minute and trying to catch up to Rufus. Stormfly's made his way up into 3rd. He'll be thinking about the points. He'll want to get on to the 2nd step of the podium, maybe even thinking about a win at this point. We don't know the time difference between himself and Rufus. He will, obviously, but we don't. I would say there is probably 4 or 5 seconds. So Stormfly, I think he'll definitely be thinking about the win. Bry the mechanic. Oh no, Bry. That Lamborghini really does not like these exits, does he? Out of turn 17 we go. He's got the power down. He's just got, I think he's just caught the grass a little bit with the rear wheels, and off he's gone. That is so unlucky for Bry the mechanic. Was having a decent race. It just, to me, just seems like he's struggling in this Lamborghini at the minute. Now finds himself down in 10th. We're going to go back up to where we were, and that was Unforgiven in 2nd with Stormfly 3rd, Fitzy in 4th. Doing his best to catch up. We were going to have a look at the tyres, weren't we? So let's have a look. Rufus, he's on the softs. Unforgiven also on softs. Still a decent gap between the two of them. Then a gap, not a massive gap, but a gap nevertheless between Unforgiven and Stormfly. Stormfly on the softs, so the top 3 at the minute on softs. Then Fitzy on the mediums, he's sitting in 4th. Derg also on the mediums. Silly shot, he is on the softs, so he's stealth. Smith has started on the mediums. Remember, he didn't take part in race 1. But he's up to 8th, started 15th on the grid, and he's now up to 8th. Is Agent Smith on the medium tyres. Phaser on the softs, he's in 9th. Then we've got Brian the mechanic, who has been struggling. Maybe it's because it's the medium tyres. Maybe that Lambo just does not like the medium tyres. Maybe it's because it's got Xbox written all over it. That could be a problem. Brian the mechanic, he's on the mediums as well. Then we've got Pete on the softs, Grasshopper mediums, Hawkeye softs, and Sid on the softs. So quite a mixture really. The main thing is the top 3 boys are all on the soft tyres. Rufus having a fantastic race, absolutely loving it out there at the minute in his BMW. Stormfly's got the fastest lap of 36.8, and well, Rufus not far off that. His last lap was a 36.9, so only a 10th off is Rufus, and he's loving it out there at the minute. So come on, Rufus, we are all rooting for you. Take your time. You've got about just over 4 minutes to go to hold on to this lead. Unforgiven still sitting in P2. He can just about see the back of Rufus's car if he looks down the hill. And it's the same with Stormfly. If well, Stormfly can't see. I was going to say you can see Unforgiven, but he can't. What he can see though in his mirrors is Fitzy, who has done a tremendous job to catch up to the back of Stormfly. Derg is in there as well. So Fitzy just leading this little group of 3 on the chase after Stormfly, and well, I'm looking at the time, we've got about 3.5 minutes to go, so it's really, this race is on now for Fitzy. Fitzy will be thinking about a podium. Stormfly, I thought earlier on, may have been thinking about the win, but now he's got some defending to do if he wants to stay on the podium. Fitzy, on the other hand, well, he wants it, he's feeling it, and it's there for the taking, really, for Fitzy. Let's just have a look. Well, we can't see anything, can we? Oh, there we go. Is Derg just sitting there behind Fitzy, with Silly Shot just behind Derg. And it seems that with every corner, Fitzy's getting closer and closer to Stormfly. So I think Stormfly needs to now not worry about getting in any more positions. He just needs to defend against Fitzy and keep himself on the podium. We'll just have another quick rundown of the field. So there's Derg in 5th, Silly Shot 6th. Then we've got a bit of a gap then back to Smith in 7th. He's had a great race though, hasn't he? As Agent Smith, he's started on the medium tyres in 15th position, and he's up to 7th, so fantastic racing from him. Stealth in 8th, Phaser 9th, then Brian the Mechanic in 10th, Brian Moncani in 11th with Pete, and Grasshopper. Well, Grasshopper really not got into either of these 2 races yet. Maybe he's saving it all for race 3, who knows. Hawkeye down in 14th with Sid. Oh, and Sid's just come off again in 15th, but he'll keep going. And then we've got our race leader, Rufus. There is still a gap, although it does look like Unforgiven has made a bit of ground up. And I think we're looking at probably, what, another this lap and one more after this for Rufus. We're not sure. If Unforgiven's going to take the win, he really needs to take a few risks now, but in doing so, he could jeopardise his P2. So, decision to make for Unforgiven. Does he push on and try and take the win, or does he just settle for P2, take his time and secure the place? Stormfly in 3rd. He's got his own problems. He's got Fitzy bearing down on him. I remember leading up to this race, Stormfly was actually 2nd in the table, with Fitzy just behind him, only 9 points behind him. Fitzy got the win in race 1 with Stormfly in race 2. I'm not even going to try and work it out. That's for somebody else a lot cleverer than me to do, but these 2 will definitely overtake Osman after this, but it's who is going to be topping the table. We are into the last 35 seconds of this race. Let's just have a look, see where Rufus is. He's just going through the tunnels, just coming up to turn 17. So I think that Rufus is going to get another lap in, actually. Around turn 17 he goes, as long as he gets a good exit. He will, so Rufus is going to get another lap in. Unforgiven, he will get another lap in as well, across the start finish line they go. Stormfly, I think he's just going to squeeze across the line, and Fitzy followed him. So no, Fitzy gets 4th, Silly Shot gets 5th, Derg gets 6th. Then we've got Smith in 7th, great racing from Agent Smith there, 15th to 17th. To 7th, then Phaser across the line in 8th with Brian the Mechanic 9th, Brian Moncani 10th, just ahead of Pete and Stealth in 11th and 12th, Grasshopper 13th, Hawkeye, he will finish in 14th, and Sid is going to finish in 15th. So back up to the top then, Rufus, what a fantastic race he's had. He's led all the way. You can see Unforgiven really closing in on him now. With round turn 12 for the last time, Rufus is just going to be entering it into the chicane of death. He's just got to keep this clean. He will know that Unforgiven is chasing him down. He just needs to take his time, get it. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, get the job done. Through there with no dramas. to Rufus, now heading down towards turn 17 for the last time. All he's got to do is get that car around the corner and he's going to take a win. Well done to Rufus. Fantastic racing from him. Across the line he goes with Unforgiven in second, and Stormfly will come across the line in third. He'll be pleased with that as well, actually. Some more points on the board for Stormfly. Well, hopefully you can join me for race 3 here in Croatia. I shall catch you all very shortly.